What are the key factors defining attractiveness? Well, that's going to vary a lot depending on who you ask. Some people's idea of a 10 is going to be the next person's idea of a 1, so there's very different principles as to what every single person likes. Now, when we talk about the term looks maxing and increasing our attractiveness, there's a lot in this concept that I like. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, why don't you implement it? Look, I'm riding the bike today. I got about 4 hours sleep last night, and I probably need a haircut. I probably look terrible. But I don't really mind. I'm here to share my opinion on something, right? So before anybody writes it in the comment section, that's okay. But what I'm here to say is this. Whilst there's a lot that I like about looksmaxing, and whilst as a concept I agree with it, for instance, I know for a fact that on days where I'm dressed like this and look like this and haven't really taken much care because I'm going for a bike ride, the way that I'm treated by people, society, the way people look at me and speak to me is much different than when I'm wearing an outfit like the one that I've got in my YouTube profile picture, the one that you can see. It's very different, right? People see me completely differently. Now, I would say that's a good thing. And I would also agree that everybody who's not taking the best care of themselves, do that. You want to become more attractive? The simplest way is to, well, just take care of your looks, right? So there's a lot that I can agree with. And the concept I agree with. But somebody brought this concept up to me, right? And I've thought about it in detail. Looksmaxing. So what's the benefit of looksmaxing? Well, obviously it's to maximise your looks, be as attractive as possible. But what's the benefit of trying to be as attractive as possible? What's the actual benefit of that? Why do we do that? Well, we probably want to be as attractive as possible, to be as attractive to the world, the people that we like. So we're seeking the kind of validation of others, which is fine, right? Obviously, ugly people, well, not even ugly people, be as attractive as you can. It's going to make you more attractive, obviously. Be as attractive as you can to the largest number of people. It's the best thing you can do if you want to improve your looks. But what I'd say is this. Looksmaxing, a lot of the culture around it is just like the money culture that a lot of young guys focus on. In the sense that it's another facade that they think is going to facilitate them into being ultra successful. And it's not. Again, more attractive is better, obviously. Do the best that you can, take care of your appearance, it's not going to be a bad thing. But here's the thing. Guys do looksmaxing for a week and they think that everyone's going to start to love them. They think that they're going to get every single girl that they want. Now there's a few things that I want to talk about on this front. The first one is the fact that looksmaxing is not necessarily going to work for everyone, and what I mean by that is there's always going to be people who do not find you attractive. Some people are going to find you to be very attractive no matter what you look like, and others are going to find you to be quite ugly. That's just a brutal fact of life. I can accept it, so can others. So can you probably. So it's not going to work for everybody. But yet again, let's assume that it does. Let's assume that looksmaxing makes you a 10 out of 10. You're the most attractive guy in the world, because it is almost always guys that do this, right? I suppose the female equivalent of looksmaxing might just be makeup, I don't know. So you do all this looksmaxing, now you're really attractive. But has it solved any of your problems? Are you still awkward? Do you still have no game, no social confidence? Because these are other factors that people do not consider, I think. And I think they are worth considering because they're equally, if not more important. You see, like I say, the money thing is exactly the same as this. Because if you want short-term results, looksmaxing can get you them. You want looks in the street, you want girls to come and approach you, maybe it's what you need. Maybe that's the confidence boost that you need. Now, I don't know, I've said this before, right? I've never had any trouble in terms of attractiveness. I've always been able to find girls who have found me attractive, and they're normally girls that I find quite attractive, so it's a win-win. So I've never really had any issues to even consider stuff like looksmaxing. It's never really affected me. If I was having trouble in that department, maybe it's then time to consider something like looksmaxing, and that's the guys that are obviously recommended to do it. But what I'd say is this. I think it's because of that I've always understood how complex both relationships and attractiveness is. Because I've seen this happen a few times. Guys that have been really, really good looking, but they just don't know what they're doing. And they might get the initial attention, right? And it depends what your intentions are with somebody. But if you're out to form a long-term relationship, what happens if you're still a loser? You still haven't got a job. You still have no confidence. You're still not decisive in what you want and where your life's going. And I've seen other guys who the opposite of that's true. They've been fairly ugly. And I don't say that to be rude or mean, but it's not everyone's attractive. That's okay. That's completely okay. But they've got along just fine. And I think the reason is because they have had a life goal, an aim. Of course, that's not everything in life, but what I'm saying is this. Looksmaxing, I think, is another thing that destroys guys' lives in a way, because they kind of make their glow up, which is good, into their whole personality. And what's going to happen is they're going to go out into the world, and that ego is going to get shattered straight away. Because just like the money thing, arguably the looksmaxing is easier. The money thing, you've got to start a business and build a network and all this. That's difficult, right? I will admit, I'm into my business now, but I'm starting to have good success with my business. It's difficult to run a business. It takes time, probably months or years. Whereas something like looksmaxing, you can do it in a week. You could probably do it in a day. Go for a haircut, get some exfoliator on, get some nice clothes, and you have looksmaxed to an extent, right? So what I'm saying is this. That's great, and it will improve your looks. But are you going to be able to then go from there? Because everything that comes next, it's got a fly in the eye. It's not nice. One of the downsides of summer. Everything that comes next is a more serious stages, right? So what I mean by that is, you spike initial attention in yourself. Brilliant. Have you got the next things that matter? Are you funny? Are you confident? Do you know how to talk to people? And I know this sounds like basic, but it's what a lot of guys forget. Because they get on these trends, whether it's money making or, looksmaxing, or there's quite a few of them really. And it isn't going to change your level of attractiveness to girls, not long term, because they might look at you and think, hey, that's a nice looking guy. But then when they try and pursue a relationship with you, if you're still not thinking of these things, then you're not going to have the results. So does looksmaxing matter? Yes. Be as attractive as you can. But then again, think about another thing, which is this fact. You need to be doing it all at once if you want to have the most results. You need to be fashionable, good looking, well kept. You need to try and have as much confidence as you can. Social skills, self-control, discipline, a good job or a job, a business, life goals, wants, aims, aspirations. Because these are all of the things that make a character. And like I say, you might get the short-term validation. I don't know, if you want to be that guy that goes round, well, it depends whatever your intentions are. If you want to have short-term relations with girls, that's fine. But long-term, if you want people to genuinely see you for you, you've got to be the best version of that. Is it challenging? It can be. Is it the end of the world? I wouldn't say so. Everyone's got their advantages, right? And if you've looksmaxed, you're ahead of the curve. But just like these money guys, money's not going to get you the girl. Looksmaxing's not going to get you the girl. Like I say, I've seen ugly guys pull off really good looking girls. But guess what? They've got a lot of other stuff going. Right? Life is a picture. And I think this is what a lot of guys do not understand. Let's think that we've got 5 buckets, right? 5 buckets. And we've only got a limited amount to fill them with. So we'll say one bucket is looks, one bucket is money, one bucket is confidence, and so on and so forth, right? You get the point. So you've got a choice. Which is the most sensible move? Do you have one bucket that's completely full, and that's fine, or do you have some in every bucket? I'd have some in every bucket, right? You want to be good at everything. That's a beast. Now, because of that, it's either going to take a very long time, or it's genuinely impossible for a lot of people that they're ever going to become a 10 in everything, right? It's a jack of all trades and a master of none. That's fine. But you need to have other stuff on the table. Because guys get on looksmaxing and they're still acting like children and they've still got no money and they still can't interact with girls. It's fine if you're a 10 out of 10 if you can't go up to a girl. And people say, well, that's fine, girls will come up to you, right? I've experienced this all throughout my life. And now, I'm kind of used to it, so I know exactly what to do, if I'm interested. But there's been times in the past where I was a lot younger, and I'm not going to lie, I've not always had the knowledge that I've got now, where girls come up and it's been like, oh, whatever, start saying something nice and start having a chat. But because I'm not expecting it, and because my confidence is not low, but I just wasn't expecting it in that situation, which has affected my response. Because of that, I've completely messed it up, right? Again, now, if that happens, which it does, it happened just a couple of days ago, you know exactly what to do. You see what I'm saying? Because even if they come up to you, then you are not going to have the responses. And I think deep down a lot of guys know that. So how's looks maxing going to ruin guys' lives? Well, like I say, it's going to improve their lives in a lot of ways. It's going to make them more attractive. That's a win. But they don't understand that there's more to life, there's more to the rules of attractiveness and success than that. So it's just like the money thing, like I say. Guys think that they're going to focus on one specific tool, put 100% effort into it, when life's a big game. A big game with it's a multifaceted game. There's a lot of things to focus on. And to sit there and do one, alone, is probably not the smartest move. Perhaps focus on a bit of everything is probably the best road to success. Thank you for watching. I hope I'll see you soon. Goodbye.